Time to finish off the track planning and start with the track laying. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 11 of my series on building a new model railroad. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Peter Borchards and I'm the builder and owner of BNSF Chicago Sub in N-Scale, my N-Scale layout. Just a reminder, those of you who haven't already and those of you who are new to my channel, if you want to follow on with my updates on my new model railroad, on the construction process of it, be sure to click on that subscribe button down below and click on that little bell icon to be notified of all my upcoming videos. So in this episode, I'm just wrapping up with the track planning. There's just a small section left to show you on just the final bit of the track plan. I've printed it out and I'm just going to show you what I've done. And also just a slight adjustment I've had to make based on what I had planned in AnyRail versus what happens in real life when I put it down on the board. This is the first bit I've come up with. You'll see this is one of the lower level boards, and this is 6 foot long. I've got two of them together, so it's 12 foot in total. This particular one is 6 foot, and it is just under 18 inches wide from this side to this side here. Now, using the Pico templates that come with AnyRail, you can see here, like that one there is the is a right turnout. It's the new Unifrog turnouts they make in code 55, and I've just put these together to see what I can fit in the space I've got. And as you can see, according to AnyRail, I can fit in quite a lot of track in this 18 inches. I was quite surprised, but that's what AnyRail shows. And as you can see here, oh, no, sorry, that's just to show as well, that's my helix. You can see here I've got a right turnout, then another left one, going into another left, and then a third left. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 yard tracks over here. And I've go to the other end, so the other end of the 12-foot yard. You can see I've made it a double-ended yard like that, and that's purely to allow an escape track for the locomotive. Now this isn't an active yard, this is just a staging yard, so I'm not doing any switching on this, but it might be occasions where I want to, where the locomotive, where the train comes in and I will need to get the locomotive to the other side of the train for the next train, the next time the train is running. Obviously the locomotive needs to be the other end. So I've just allowed space over here. In fact, I've just realized I've actually only allowed space for one locomotive. I've got to extend that to allow space for two locomotives, because most of my locomotives will be, or most of my trains will be double-headed. So I've just got to extend that bit there. But let's say this is only a draft section anyway. So you can see I can add in 8 tracks over here, and then for my metro yard, which is going to be a stub-ended yard, because I don't need to move my locomotives to the other end, because they stay on the same end every time. Just the cab car goes the opposite direction, so they don't switch the locomotives. You can see here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tracks over here. So to me that looks great. I can fit in a lot of tracks, more than I thought of. But this is where there's a limitation with AnyRail. You can see here it looks like it all fits nicely. It just goes in together. AnyRail doesn't show any errors or anything like that. But let me take you over to the module and I'll show you the real life version of how everything fits together, and then you'll see where the limitation is. So you've seen the track plan in AnyRail, and it looks like you can fit in quite a lot. And you can see here, this is the layout as per AnyRail. So you've got a right-hand turnout to left-hand turnout, and then another right-hand one over here. Now, in the track plan on AnyRail, it looks completely possible. It looks like you can fit in it exactly like this. But now you come to real life. And this is why I always like to test the track plans by laying out the turnouts on my baseboards, so I can see exactly what it looks like and just make sure it does fit exactly as it's shown on the track plan. So this shows you some of the shortcomings of doing it in AnyRail and just relying on that without testing it out. So let me show you. I'm just going to move this, zoom in here. Okay, so in AnyRail, it shows that turnouts are connected like this, and then there's another turnout coming off here, and it shows it fits in perfectly, no problem at all. Now, let me show you what it actually looks like when I lay it out on the baseboard. So here you've got a right hand and a left hand. Sorry, a left hand, then a right hand turnout. And now I've got another right hand turnout that connects to this. Now you see, if I lay it out exactly as AnyRail shows, you can see where the problem comes in. Just over there. Those overlap. Now there's no way that's not going to work. Those will not throw, and it's actually that one is actually lying on top of that one. So that's not going to work at all. But AnyRail says it will work. So that's why you've got to test it out. So what this shows is I've got to offset it a little bit, and this is sort of about a 2 centimeter gap that I'm putting in here. So I've got to cut a short piece of flex track just to fit in that little gap there, which is a bit annoying that I have to do that, but that's the only way that I'm going to get this to work. And that means I've got to adjust the whole track plan in AnyRail to allow for those 2 centimeter gaps. And what that's going to work out is I'm going to actually lose one track from my staging yard. In fact, I think it actually works out. I end up losing 2 tracks because of the way my plan is working. But I'll show you that. I'll show you how I've done it when I've adjusted AnyRail to allow for this real life situation. So here's the printed full-size track plan. And this is one half of it. So this is the metro yard in front. So over here is the metro yard, which is a stub-ended yard. And this here is the other end of the west end of the freight staging yard. So this is a double-ended yard. Well, double-ended as in it's got a yard throat at the end where the locomotives can escape and return on another track rather than being bound like the metro. The metro doesn't matter because the locomotives stay where they are. They don't move to the other end of the train because obviously they've got cab cars on the other end. But the freight trains, even in staging, I'd like to be able to remove the locomotives and move them off to somewhere, to the other end of the yard. So that is double-ended. So that is one half of it. So that is the 1 6-foot board. And over here is the other end of the board. So this is the end that connects to the helix. And you can see there I've got the freight yard on that side, and then this is the east end of the metro yard on this side. Now you can see here I've just been laying out the track just to fit everything. And as I showed in my earlier segment, I'm leaving a gap here to put in a 2 centimeter section of track, just so that, as you can see here, I'm not going to have the issue of this interfering with that rail there. So obviously because they're quite close together, so that just allows a bit of distance between the two. But this at least allows me to test out the track plan and just make sure everything fits in nicely. So yeah, that's coming along really well, and I'm almost ready to start actually laying the first track. So I'm going to start from this end. I'm going to start with this switch over here, get that in, and then I can move on with all the rest. And I'm going to be drilling the holes for the switch machines as well at the same time. So I've done it before where I've laid the turnout, and then I've had to go from underneath to drill the hole for the wire for the switch machine. So this time I'm just going to mark it out, drill the hole, and then lay the turnout on top of it. Just prevents any damage to the switch. And then this end over here for the metro, I'll be able to lay this piece of flex in place and then do the same with the turnouts on this end. So now that you've seen the printed track plan and the adjustments I've had to make to the spacing on the turnouts, this is the completed rail that's in place. And as you can see here, I've added in these 2 centimeter little pieces just to give a bit of gap so there's clearance for the point motors. For the throw bars. As you can see, they're still pretty tight, but they are separate from each other. They're not interfering with each other, which is a good thing. But yeah, that's the reason why I needed these are the short sections, just to move them over a bit. And you can see I've done that over here as well. In each section where I've got point motor the points after each other, I've just added a little 2 centimeter section over there. And let me just move this around, and you can see what it all looks like. So you can see there, that's how it all come out in the end. So over here, we've got the metro yard. That's going to be a stub-ended yard going across to the second board. So this is the first 6-foot board. And then this is the freight yard. So I've got 7 tracks on this one and 6 tracks on that. So that's all the track planning done. The track laying is now complete. I showed you the first section of it, but it's now completely done. And in the next video, I'm going to try catch up with all the work I've done. I'm a bit behind on my videos. So I'm going to just do an overview of all the work I've done till now, just so we are completely caught up. Otherwise, if I just do short segments like this, it's going to take a long time before I've actually caught up with where I am actually now in real life. So the next video coming up will show you the wiring and all the electronics for the layout. As I say, DCC is only two wires, but that's if you just want to get trains running. If you want to do anything else, there are a lot more wires involved. If you're wondering what that sound was just now, I've got 2 little visitors. So let me just show you. So these are my 2 little helpers. They regularly come into the train room to help me out with the layout. It's just nice to have some company in here just now. It's either these 2 or the 2 cats. So thanks for watching, and just a reminder, if you haven't already, please click on the subscribe button down below and click on that little bell icon to be notified of all my upcoming episodes. So thank you, and keep safe, and see you soon.